should be straight for. So yeah, the names I'm watching myself, which I'll probably start a new watch list. Ooh, I forgot about Cigna. I gotta check Cigna out. So these are some of the names I'm watching. You don't have to take, you can take whatever you like. I just personally think these look the most attractive. Like I said, I want to short something that is still near the highs on a good setup. PM looks okay. Again, assuming SPY is going to break down below that level we mentioned at around 558. If SPY does stay above 558 and pushes higher, like I said, be careful if you're shorting on anything. I would not be surprised if we get a small squeeze higher into next week. Which lines up with what I just showed you guys on SPY. We have a couple things to look out for. Trump is going to be speaking today. We have Powell tomorrow. We have AMD earnings after hours. So a couple things lined up for this week. If you are taking any swings, it's fine. Just be mindful to leave size in case you do need to add into next week. If you get squeezed, it's not really an issue if you can stomach it and if you can manage it and, you know, lower your cost average by buying in or whatever. But if you go all in on your first set or your first entry, that's where the issues come in, because now you have to eat the loss and you can't really scale into the trade, you know, to lower your cost, to give you a better entry cost so you can make more money down the line. But just be mindful, again, if you're taking any of these, definitely this is possible. I want to see it roll over from here, but just be mindful we can squeeze a bit more. So PM is one of the setups. WM, waste management, is also a pretty clean setup in my opinion. I prefer PM over WM. On the daily, this looks really clean. This looks like a potential head and shoulders, really clean. But when you come on the weekly, this is what I was mentioning about wicks. So we can potentially come target this as a buy side liquidity. I'm not saying we will, but it is something to be careful with. So maybe pass on this one. We don't have earnings until July, so that's fine. But yeah, just be careful. We might come fill this buy side before we come down. But regardless, looks clean in case we do go for the head and shoulders from here. CME is also at all-time highs, pretty clean. And by the way, these are low IV names, which is why I'm trading them. I'm not looking to trade anything with elevated IV. You can, but me personally, for swings, I think you make a lot more money when you're getting a bang for your buck, which you do with low IVs. So CI is also pretty interesting at these highs. And Trump did mention he's going after health insurance companies. So don't know how that'll play out. I just know I like the levels, and if we do fall below this zone right here, we can continue to the downside just as easily. If we stay above, we can come fill this upside liquidity. So be mindful. Again, if you're going to take anything, leave room to add or be tactical, meaning let's say you do short on a breach of these lows, but we immediately reclaim those lows and stay above them. At that point, you would want to exit your sells, and if we come back below trigger levels again, then you can re-engage. But as long as we're above entry levels, you want to be careful if you're short anything. And look at these wicks. So again, be mindful if we don't break down below previous day low, because they can go target those highs. Microsoft, interesting action. I'm probably not going to do too much on my trade. If we start pushing back above this EQ here, which is around 435, I'll consider maybe taking them off and reassessing later down the line. But for now, as long as we stay below 435, I like it for some continuation to the downside. Let's see if that can play out. EFA, I've mentioned it before, clean gap up. This is an open gap. So, you know, you were discussing open gaps. This is one right here. Super obvious. You go on the daily. nothing to the left. So we got the all-time high breakout and gapped up. Eventually we're gonna come close this gap. So I'm loaded with swings on EFA. I mentioned adding yesterday if anyone took that. If you didn't, the first trades are yeah, they're down. Yeah, the first trades are down for sure. But if you scaled in up here, like I said, I think the first set we took was here. Obviously they're down, which is fine with me. I left room to add. I'm scaling in into these highs, and you have this entire gap to cover, which is your payday, and anything below there is going to give you this drop we had mentioned. I'm okay with this. If I capture this here, I'm going to try to get risk free, leave some runners. If this happens, great. If it doesn't happen and we bounce from there, I still got paid. So that's the thesis right here on EFA. Super low IV, just be careful with it. It's not the most liquid. Spreads are a little wonky depending what strike and date you get, so make sure you check the spreads before you actually get filled on that. Coca-Cola looks okay, but I'd probably maybe pass. I kind of like Walmart a little bit better here than Coca-Cola. So for example, we've been trading both of these names, well, majority of these names for the same amount of time, and as you can see, Coca-Cola has been chopping in this entire range while Walmart has been you know, steadily been climbing slightly higher. So I do think the Walmart's a slightly more attractive trade here. Only thing I don't like is earnings. So Coca-Cola already had earnings and Walmart hasn't. If you are going to take Walmart, just be mindful this week's contracts are pretty cheap, but once you start going out to next week, they get pretty expensive because of earnings. If you are going to take a trade on Walmart, I don't think I would do May 16th. You're either scalping it for a fast trade on this week, which I don't think is the best probability trade, or getting time out to June. Just because if you get May 16th, those contracts have a high IV just because of earnings. And if, let's say, Walmart doesn't hit for earnings, you're going to take a big hit on an IV crush. So in my opinion, if you're going to take Walmart for earnings, it's better off if you go out to June. But those are just my 2 cents. You don't have to take it. McDonald's, again, same comments as Coca-Cola. Probably not the cleanest trade just because of how long we've been chopping. When we do get the clean breakdowns, these will pay, but I'm not looking to force a trade between these choppy ranges. The downside can be very clean if we trigger. Let's see if I can. I really like these trades, but probably for swings, not for scalps. And again, just be careful, because let's say you do load a swing and we chop for a couple more weeks, you're gonna continue to get chopped on that like we have been. So when you're chopping like this, I just stay away. Once you get clean breakdowns, if you want to add scale in or do anything like that, that's fine. But while you're in those ranges, it's best to just sit on hands. Visa looks really clean to the downside here as well. I think I mentioned this one. I'm not sure when I mentioned it, but we have this 786 here. So we're either selling off the 786, which is 350.85, or we're going to go for the breakout. You have the same exact setup on MasterCard, similar setups on banks, and we left a lot of gaps to the downside. So I think banks are going to be a decent short. But again, you also want to leave room just in case. I think Wells Fargo has some of the biggest gaps. So we have some gaps here. We have some gaps here. We have some liquidity wicks here to the downside. XL left probably has gaps as well, small ones. BAC, small ones. JPM, small ones as well. But majority of these names are coming into topside resistance. So maybe some type of head and shoulders brewing from these levels. We'll see. These are still pretty big ranges. The real crash per se is going to happen when we lose these levels that we traded into a few months ago. So these are the levels where we crashed into in August. This is the levels we just crashed to not too long ago. When we lose those levels, that is the real payout. I'm not saying you can't make money here. Yes, you can. But this is just the tip of the iceberg per se. Once this happens, that's where the real money is. And if you happen to be in long-term swings, like I'm mentioning, you guys should try to take advantage of and get into here. While the VIX is super low, IV is super cheap. Try to get your hands in the cookie jar on those swings. And if those drops do happen, you're going to be rewarded very nicely. If you start trying to chase at the lows when contracts are up, IV is up, VIX is up, you're not gonna make as much money. Anyone who missed the sales on SPY with during February with me, you immediately saw how much a high VIX makes on those contracts. So your 0DTs go through the roof, super expensive. Swings get super expensive. Just trust me. If you can get your hands on some swings, it's probably your best bet. Yeah, PLTR looks clean. Your Lex level to watch is going to be your previous weekly lows at 108.70. So for now, you have previous day low, which is your overnight low. That is going to be your potential bounce zone. So watch the previous day low into 112. See if that breaks down or we bounce from there. And from there, it's going to be previous weekly lows at 108, 107. If you lose that, that's where you can, probably get paid out a bit more. You don't have too much time. I'm assuming you have weeklies. So just be mindful if we do bounce into the zone. You might want to just call it a day and take the profits on that. And then since you have multiple positions, Ramiro, you can always, like I told you yesterday, you can leave some risk on, but definitely first chance you get, you want to take risk off the table all the time. What time is it? We got 15 minutes. Does anyone have any questions on any setups that I covered today? Any open positions? Just anything in general before we get started?
Hi, Martin. Yes.
Good morning, Rosana. How you doing? Hope you feeling better.
Yeah. So on Walmart, you went like too quickly for like through the chart. If you can
Yeah. So
explain what your
Walmart.
is there, and then
What's your second question? Go ahead.
also like from all the list that you mentioned, like what is like your top watches today? Because I know there are like some positions are like.
It depends how much you plan on spending, because some are cheaper than others. So that definitely is a factor. I personally, if you told me, hey, I can only take one of these setups, it's kind of hard. I try to tell you guys to diversify, because you can take 3 names. One might give you 30%, the other one goes red, one gives you 100. So you're not always going to get the same results. I prefer if you can diversify a bit. But if you forced my hand and told me you can only take one setup, I think maybe PM if we get the breakdown. Top 3? Okay, so probably PM into the 2618, assuming we break down. But again, keyword assuming. You're assuming we're going to break down from here, so be careful. If not, Visa's fine. And then maybe, nah, not J&J. I wouldn't take J&J. I like it, but you see this wick? So you have the same setup across the board. Breakdown on previous day low versus bounces. So just be careful at open. If we do get the breakdowns, we're gonna have clean selling pressure, but just be mindful we can bounce. But I would probably do PM, V. I've never traded waste management, so I can't say that one. But probably some of these. I don't know if you took any of the, no, you haven't been here. Yeah, see, like semis, if we break down from these levels, it's gonna be clean, but we still haven't broken down either. We're literally back at lows. So if we do bounce from here to those highs we discussed on AMD ER, like look at how close we've gotten from, way down here when we drew it up. So just be a little patient in case we do get this squeeze into next week at those highs, you can short. So if you're gonna swing, Rosanna, on any of the names I said, let's say you say, hey, I want to risk 3 contracts or whatever amount of money, maybe do one here and try to manage it and try adding down the line. But I know you haven't been here too active, so it also depends. Do you want scalp or you want to swing? Because that has a lot to do with it too. If you're okay with swinging and adding to your positions and holding through time, then sure, I think those are fine. But if you don't feel comfortable seeing a little bit of drawdown and scaling into the trade, then maybe wait in case we don't break down from the lows. But yeah, probably PM, hands down. My money today, I'm scaling in on PM. I took some yesterday, but if we get the breakdown, I'll probably throw a little more size on that. And I do want to take a couple, maybe on like WM or some other names. CME, WM I like, but I've never traded them before, so I gotta see what the spreads are like and all that.
Okay.
But yeah, probably those. Let's see. Did I send? No, I didn't. Let me send. I have a list of. Damn, I totally
Like if
forgot.
we get challenge, yeah, we start with 1K and then we grow it.
Well, I mean, I'm only doing that because you guys are asking. But theoretically, the goal is to scale the account. It doesn't matter if you're trading with 1,000 or 10,000. If you know you're managing your risk the same way, you're gonna get similar results. You can literally set up, let's say, a 1K account and set a copy trader and be trading a 10K account or a 100,000 account based off of the same rules. So let's say you're risking 1%, 10%, whatever, is just applying it to larger sums of money. The only problem is you see 10% drawdown on $1,000 trade. That's $100, no biggie. You up your size, 10% on a 10K, now you're down 1,000. You're trading 100,000, now you're down 10K on a trade on a 10% drop. So the percentages are always going to be the same. Mentally, it is a little harder to see those bigger losses, but percentage wise, it's always the same, which is why I tell everyone, don't focus on the dollar amounts, focus on the percentages. It's going to make your life easier down the line when you're trying to scale. I'm watching gold myself here. So I'm interested in a potential sell. I'm glad I didn't take it yesterday. So we did get the breakout from the open gap. We're coming to fill my upside target, just about there. So into these targets, I'm considering taking sells on. No, I'm not considering. I do have some small sells on gold on the forex side. So I'm watching this here for breakout to these highs. I'll sell some more here, but I am currently short from here. So I want to see this. And again, if we break out, it's cool. I'll add more up here. But I'm watching gold today. And again, I'm probably not going to take options on this one. I'm trading it on the forex side. But gold is interesting today for sure. We got 8 minutes till the open. Let me send out some contract ideas.
Take that PM into next week as well? Would you open up another contract for next week or just a weekly?
I probably wouldn't do weeklies. If you're gonna do PM, you're better off doing
Next week or June?
ideally the goal on PM is to swing it. If you want to scalp weeklies or next week's right now for this first initial drop down into 170, I'm cool with that. So let's say you scalp this first initial drop into 170, you get paid into 170, that's great. But eventually I'm gonna want you to roll those into longer dated contracts. The only problem is if you do get that initial drop, let's say you double your money, which again I don't think so, but let's say you do. Let's say you go up 100% on a weekly. You put X amount of money, you double your money. Now at this point you're gonna want to roll to further dated contracts to get the rest of the move, right? The only problem, it works out in your favor because let's say you do double here and then roll into the swings. The swings will be up, let's say maybe 30%. So you kind of make money on the fast trade and you still buy in at a better price on the swings, but it doesn't always play out that way. So if I'm being honest with you, the easy thing to do is just get the swing here and don't worry about it. But again, if you want to take the fast trade, then roll into the swing or take both here, that's a different story. But in my opinion, the easiest thing to do, the less you do, the easier your life is going to be. So swinging, less stress, you have more time to manage and all that. So I think the best thing to do is just do the swings. But if you want to do some weeklies and some swings, that's cool.
Cool. How How far? 615 or 620?
What happened? So I would probably do.
615 or 6?
I prefer 620, and then for the faster trade, I think bi-weekly might be a little better, just in case we do get a little bit of chop this week. But if you want to take the weekly and just be tactical, meaning any bounce from these levels you get out, that's fine.
Gotcha.
Keep in mind to look at the prices too. What I taught you guys about premium and not overpaying. Look at the weeklies and look at next week's. If you're only paying, let's say, $50 more for next week, pay the extra $50, get yourself some more time. It's always going to be worth it. If they're charging you $300 or something ridiculous for 1 week more of time, then definitely not. But if they're charging you, pennies on the dollar, pay the extra money. Nobody took success yesterday, huh? Or AVGO? Or yeah. Top range here on success into 1835, 1850. So that's going to be interesting. And then we got AVGO breaking down below the bottom zone. All right, 5 minutes till the open. Let's lock in. PM, the... Oh, damn. What happened to Microsoft? If Microsoft gets under 431, that might be interesting. You waited? Perfect. Yeah. So I didn't take it on options, but like I said, I did nibble here on the forex side. If you guys want to re-engage gold again, that might be viable. EFA and PM, solid. Like that, Ramiro. EFA, like I said, just be careful with the spreads. Where are my other charts at? SPY's breaking below that 558 level here in pre-market. Be careful. If we're below it, it's gonna be great for sells. I'm not chasing SPY here at the lows. Like I said, you're better off taking some of the names at the highs. But one thing you definitely do want to watch on SPY is if they reclaim that 558 right at the open. If they get back above 558 and start pushing higher, doesn't matter what you're short on, whether it's PM, Microsoft, EFA, whatever you're short on, just be careful and be mindful that if we can squeeze across the board from these levels. So pretty interesting developments here right at the open. Massive. We just had a massive pop on Apple. So yeah, watch out with SPY right here at open. And Apple is below that 200 level we were watching yesterday. So let's see if they can reclaim above that 200 area today if markets do push higher. But again, keep an eye on SPY getting back above 558 and pushing higher right here on this move up on Apple. So I might sit out the first 2-3 minutes just in case. We'll see. And one thing you guys should do, which I recommend, anything you plan on trading, add it to your watch list. So the minute, let's say you have 10 names that you're watching at the open, instead of just, going through every single name, searching the option chain, it takes too much time. Add everything to a watch list that you plan on trading. The minute market opens, you're gonna get an instant update on the price, the percent change, on everything, where you can see all contracts in one list instead of going through every individual name trying to find those options. So 1 minute, about 30 seconds here. Good luck, guys. Let's see what we get at the open. If we do get the breakdowns, like I said, my go-to is going to be PM. If you want to take something else, that's fine, but that's probably what I'm going to throw the most size on. All right, so we're open. Ooh, look at that, right off the open. Holy. PG. Let's see if PG can get under 158. EFA from yesterday, pretty green. Microsoft green. Bouncing here. Let's see what happens. So again, 558 is a level to watch on SPY, which I don't even have up. Let's bring it up. What should I get rid of? Let's get rid of J&J. So there's that 558 I was talking about, green line. Let's make it a little more visible. This area is the level to watch. 558 on SPY. I nibbled a little bit on PM just to scale in, but I want to see it stay under 173 and push lower. I took 172.5s for May 16. Those look decent. If you want to do the weeklies, that's okay too. I personally think next week's are a little more attractive, and the spreads are a lot better too. Apple, massive breakout. I don't have Apple up here, but Apple just gave us a solid push, and SPY is well above that 558 now. So look at that. Massive candle on Apple to the upside, and SPY is back above that 558. So watch out here. PM did break down slightly here. I want to see if we can get some continuation to the downside. Be very careful because this 12-minute candle just opened. At any point, we can revert higher, leaving liquidity to the downside. So just be careful if you are short PM here for potential bounce. I don't think I'm paid yet. I literally just added to that. Slightly, about 8%, nothing major. Let's see if we can get some continuation lower. PG, let's go. I don't think anyone has these still, but the PG and J&J swings have been doing okay. PG is outperforming J&J, but they've both been doing all right. Why do I have Microsoft up twice? What am I missing? What did I get rid of? AVGO bounce off these lows. So again, like I mentioned in the Discord, you're gonna at open, you're gonna be green on AVGO and SOXS. Anytime you see decent greens, consider taking them, because if you don't and something like this happens, there go your premiums. Same thing on Apple. If you were, short and you have this move up, there go your premiums. So let's see what happens here next few minutes. And there's a small green candle on PM. So again, be mindful. If this does start breaking above 173, we can squeeze higher. Small bounces here across the board. If we do start getting breakouts back above 173, let's see what's the percent. I'm gonna probably just sit on that one for a little bit. I want to see if other key names like AVGO start breaking out, Apple starts breaking out, versus potentially rolling over from these zones we broke down from yesterday. So this is where we broke down from yesterday. I want to see if we get rejected into these zones. At that point, I'd be okay sitting on my sells. But if we do continue pushing higher from these levels, I'm probably just going to go ahead and take these off right here. It's a small loss right here, which I'm okay with. And again, if you're swinging, you should be leaving room to add anyway. So test here on Apple. Microsoft way higher too. So if you didn't take off Microsoft right at the open, most of the premiums are gone here. Let's see if we can come back to the lows. EFA is a swing, William. Sorry, I just saw your message right now. If you're in PG, great. EFA is a swing. I mentioned a few different strikes and dates, but you do have open gaps to the downside. I like that one. Gold, British Harmonic, cool. Small rejection here on Apple into that top zone. I'm trying to find some bargains, but nothing's really at a bargain. Everything's right around the same prices we loaded, so I'm probably not doing too much. Small green on EFA, by the way, if you loaded yesterday. So McDonald's is probably some of the greenest trades from what I mentioned this morning. What's going on here? So nice selling on McDonald's if you're in it. Hopefully we can see some continuation. But McDonald's is one of the greener trades from what I mentioned this morning. What's Netflix doing? Let's see if I can find something cheap on Netflix. Nah, these are pretty expensive. I kind of like Netflix here for a fade, but they're pretty expensive. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pass on that. If you don't mind, paying the premium, I think Netflix could be an okay sell here. If you want to just pass on it, that's fine. But I might try to scalp it. I'm trying to justify. So we have targets from yesterday. Was it yesterday's low or Friday's low? Oh yeah, yesterday's low. So yesterday we came down into 1090. Potentially want to see if we can retest that zone or lower. But I don't think paying 1,100 puts are around $600, $700. So I'm just trying to justify paying that, but I think you're probably better off spending 600, 700 bucks somewhere else, if I'm being honest. If you want to take it to each his own, but I do think there's better opportunities, being honest. JLD looks cool here. Nice little reversal if anyone took that. And then Apple is giving us the breakout here. What's SPY doing? J&J, small pullback. SPY is well above that 558 we discussed pre-market. I'm not short SPY, by the way, so it doesn't necessarily affect me that we're coming up. As long as names like PM and other names I'm in, stay down, that's fine. But like I said, you want to be careful, because if the entire market starts pushing up, I would not be surprised if other names do so as well. And to the previous day low here, I'll see if we can get a reversal on SPY if we make it up there. But other than that, I'm probably not going to be doing too much or watching too much on SPY. PM new lows here, not new lows, but trying to come down towards the lows again. So hopefully those can pay. Anybody load PMs today? Or yesterday? If you got a good fill on Microsoft yesterday, that's amazing, William. Hopefully we can get the reversal here back to the lows. If we do see today's lows and lower, you'll probably get green on that. They were pretty green at open, but on this small push higher, prems are down a bit. So let's see what we get. Still super early, barely 10 minutes since the open. You cut off a little bit. What happened? Yo, what'd you say, fam?
For SOX, you mentioned yesterday a put for 516. Are you adding on to that, or
Wait, you said what?
you mentioned SOX like for the SOX 18 call, I think you mentioned.
Yeah, it was success calls and AVGO puts, and then I said in the chat they were probably gonna be green at open. I don't think that's the case anymore, or maybe. But yeah.
It is still open, yeah. Are you adding on to that, or should we just take it like?
It was, so like the thing is that write-up was, one, it paid at the open if you loaded yesterday, but the thing is the trade thesis has not played out. Why do I say it has not played out? Because it was a sympathy trade for AMD. So the idea was to fade, assuming we're gonna get a bad AMD report come down. But I'm telling you guys, like if AMD does obviously squeeze higher, the rest of the semis are going to go up as well, whether it's AVGO, NVIDIA, Intel, Qualcomm, you name it. Generally, when you have semis reporting and you get a good report, they're all going to move on sympathy. Same way when Microsoft had their good report, Meta came up with it, other names come up as well, even though they're not the ones directly reporting earnings. So if you yourself want to take that bet, because again, it is a bet that AMD will come down and the rest of semis will come down as well, then you're okay to hold on to that. But if you're telling me, hey, you know what, I already made a couple percentages and I don't really want to risk it overnight, then take it off. But as for a swing trade, this was what I drew up some time ago, and I said, hey, so first and foremost, we were long from way down here. So when we got the breakout to the 50s, that was a beautiful trade. Success gave me a fat ass bag. UVXY gave me a fat ass bag. So back at these lows, I'm a buyer again. I'm not telling you to touch it up here, nowhere. We got long on this drop, and I told everyone, hey, get rid of your calls here. Those paid really well. Now here at the lows, I'm telling you guys again, hey, if you want to get long like I did yesterday, great. You're already getting paid on that. If we get the breakout above here, you have these upside targets. But that's a bet you have to be willing to make. If you're not willing to make it, then don't take it. This is where we currently are on AVGO. We already made this entire upside. My original target is here, the buy side liquidity. We're almost there. So in my opinion is, if you waited this entire time to short, what's one more week? Just wait one more week. And I'm not telling you we can't fall from here, we can. But I'm just saying, don't go all in here like this is the top, because we can still come to these levels that we drew out, from way down here in April. So can this upside happen? Most definitely. And you have to be prepared to stomach that loss. On an upside earnings on AMD, you're going to get this on AVGO or on Powell good news. I can't tell you specifically what, but this is the path we drew on AMD. We've been chopping higher slightly, but we're still above the point of control. So if you want to take that bet, again, it is a bet because you will be directly affected overnight by AMD. If you like the odds, then go for it. But if not, don't take that, because again, that's directly influenced by earnings, which you have no control over, and you know it's gonna happen overnight, meaning you're either paid or you lost right at the open. Nothing you can do about it. So you're better off trading maybe something that isn't going to be directly affected by ER, or a name that already reported earnings. If you're going to take a name that hasn't reported earnings, just be mindful when they report and all that. Like Walmart, for example, like I said, if you're buying next week's contracts, you're going to pay, a lot of money simply because you're buying something that reports that week, which is why I'm telling you guys, if you do take Walmart, do not buy next week. You're going to get finessed. By June 20th, or this week for a scalp if that's what you want, but this week is not going to cover ER. Ooh, Walmart's nice low reds here. So let's see, let me check my port real quick. Dude, honestly, I love streaming and helping everybody, but I'm not gonna lie, it definitely does slow me down with my personal trading, but it's all good. PM coming down a bit here. Didn't really get to add much more size. I did nibble a bit, but not in size how I wanted. I'm gonna probably remain patient for a little bit here. Nice pullback on SPY. Let's see if we can get back below 558. If that does happen, that's gonna be the shift I'm looking for. But again, as long as we're above 558 on SPY, you want to be tactical and careful with any sells you have. Let's see what they're paying right now. Small reds here on Netflix. I already know I'm gonna regret not loading that if it ends up paying, but whatever, it's all good. I'm trying to find something right now. The prices are right around open, if I'm being honest with you guys. I don't scale in unless I'm getting better price, better entry, better something, or some type of advantage. But right now it's trading, everything's trading similar at around similar prices to this morning. So let's say you nibble that open and you're nibbling here again, you're somewhat doubling down on a trade that hasn't really done anything. I don't like doubling down. Like I said, leave room to add. If you need to add later. But if you said, hey, I want to risk X amount, you already risk it. Don't keep adding to trades. Me myself, I'm still not fully in to the size I do want to get to, but I'm hesitant to add here. I'm gonna give it a couple minutes. If SPY gets below 558, stays below, then I'll be more comfortable adding to my sells. But I don't want to add here into the lows, and then we get a massive bounce higher, and I eat the loss on premiums. New highs here on UVXY, and SPY has not put in new lows yet, so that's an interesting development here. And I think McDonald's is still dropping because these are pretty green. No, I had stabilized. All right, SPY probably just put in a new low. SPY is pushing. Not yet. So test inbound here. Let's see if they manage to bounce it or give us the breakdown we want to see. If you are short and you do get breakdowns here if you are short and you do get bounces across the board, depending your time frames and how much risk you have on, be careful. If you're okay getting squeezed, like I said, then that's fine. But if we do get the bounce from here and you have something like weekly risk in size that you definitely don't want to take a hit on, you can go ahead and take some off. If you have swings like June 20th or something like that, I myself, like I said, I'm okay with sitting on them and adding higher if I have to. Let's check PM on the higher time frame real quick. So this was the area we wanted to see it reject off of. So far so good, but I do want to see more selling pressure here in the next, how much time do we have left? So we have about 35 minutes for the 192 to close. So into like 7:15, 7:20ish, I'll probably make my decision on what I'm gonna do with these trades. Did you manage everything, by the way, Ramiro? I don't know how you've been doing. I haven't really. Or anyone in general, have you guys been managing trades? Like Ramiro, I know you did pretty good overnight, so make sure you take some risk off the table. POTR is under that level we discussed pre-market, by the way. So I'm not sure if you're still in that, but we just got the breakdown. So
I sold SOXS for a little over 40%.
fuck it. Good soup, good soup. Like I said, this one has a lot of potential. So look, I'm not trying to discourage you. 40% is an amazing win any day in my book. In one day, overnight, 40%, beautiful. But what I will be very clear to you about is chasing. What I don't want is success at any point here. And then you tell me, hey, can I get back in success for this breakout? Because you were literally long from the bottom of the bottom. So again, 40% beautiful. That's amazing. But just be mindful. Let's say what your potential targets are. Because if we do get this breakout, let's say AMD has the worst earnings ever and, you know, NVIDIA crashes, AVGO crashes, everything crashes, and you get a huge breakout to whatever, to here, to here, to here. I don't know. Just break out higher. Those contracts might be 100%. They might be 200, 300, 1,000. So you want to definitely always take the money and be safe, but don't limit your upside. So I don't know how much size you're trading with. What I like doing myself is leaving runners, which is easier done when you get over 100% on a trade. But again, I think this is a beautiful trade that has a lot of potential. So you just want to be mindful of limiting your potential gains per se. Let's say you say, hey, I want to make $10 on this trade, and then you get $1 and you say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna just take the $1. It's a good dollar, you know, that's fine, but you have to have a plan in mind of what you want to get out of the trade. And if you tell me you wanted to make $10 and you panicked and sold for $1, that's something you need to keep an eye on and just, you know, in the back of your head, analyze your own, you know, trading behaviors, your mental. Everyone has different strengths and weaknesses. So I can't tell you, you know, what your weakness or strength is. Everybody different, but definitely keep that in the back of your mind to not sell early all the time. Scalps here and there is fine. What happened?
Oh shit, the mic works now.
Yeah, I have it open so everybody could talk. Nah, but yeah, like I said, 40% beautiful, but I know you're gonna kick yourself if they hit 100, 200, 300. So just be mindful next time how much time you let your trades run and all that. POTR is melting right now.
I swung PLTR to next week as well. I opened it.
Wait, why? Right now? You just rolled right now?
No. That didn't roll. I still got the one for this week. I opened up another one.
Okay, so that is a problem in my opinion. It's fine, but why are you adding? Okay, so you shorted here for ER. You're making a shitload of money into lower targets, and you're adding more. If you're adding further out, like let's say 100 strike down here, that's fine, but you want to take profits on the 120s you have up here.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't add. I opened up a complete different another contract to next week, and I opened it at 10 when it was at 108 70 cents or something like that.
Yeah, but my point is you're still holding on to the 120 puts.
Correct.
So you're adding risk into lows. That's fine. That's fine. If you want to hold it, that's fine. I'm just letting you know you're adding risk into the lows when you already got paid a shitload. That's fine. I just want you to be aware of what you're doing. So if you want to hold that, go for it. But in my opinion, coming into the lows, you take profits on the puts you already, you know, have, If you want to say, hey, I made $1,000, I'm gonna put 200 back into it, that's a different story. But you don't say, hey, I'm up $1,000, let me throw another $1,000 at the lows. That's a mistake. So just be mindful. If you want to take off your 120 and hold the lower strike for next week, that's fine. But generally, you do not want to be shorting at the lows. Yes, we can keep melting, but you don't know that. You want to assume that the lows are going to be support and you bounce. Same way you assume the highs are resistance and you sell.
Okay. All right. Got you.
I'm telling you, if you want to hold it, go for it. Just generally not something you want to be doing.
J&J Melton.
Yes, sir. We still in the same zones though. That's what I don't like.
Yeah.
Like once we look at all this chop, like McDonald's too. McDonald's is paying nice. McDonald's today, like my prems are up a bit. But once we lose this whole zone to the left, that's when we have the clean moves down. Yup. Even PG's literally at the lows, bro. Like if we get this breakdown, beautiful. But I'm scared because I have a bit of size on PG, and it's like, bro, if we do this, I'm screwed. Yeah, I need the downside because we have a massive range to the upside. So that's why I'm saying PM looks cleaner today. And it's doing okay. PM's doing okay. So if anybody took PM, hopefully we get paid out way more on this. But so far it's doing okay. Even AVGO back at the lows. It's bouncing right off those lows though. So maybe not bad you took off success. Let's see if they manage to get the bounce off from here or we get the breakdown. And SPY's probably back above, is it? No, not yet. So let's see if SPY gets back above 558. This morning we mentioned 558 key level, immediately bounced off of it this morning. We lost it. Now let's see if they can reclaim it. If they fail to reclaim 558 and push lower off that level, that is going to be your confirmation to sit on your sells and we're heading lower. If they get back above 558 and stay above 558, you want to be very careful of your short. And then PLTR, tiny bounce, nothing major here, but again, just be careful anytime you're shorting into lows. So let's see if SPY gives us some confirmation to the downside. That would be beautiful versus a breakout back above 558. And we are getting new lows on PM here. Moment of truth. Let's see. But not gonna lie, I kind of have nah, it's not that big. I was gonna say I got size on gold, but nah, not really. Little size.
Costco, my expensive contract.
Costco.
I needed to bleed. I'm bleeding, but it's like small ass.
What are you holding with this week or next week?
So this week, I think it's a short time, but we'll see what happens.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you get, what strike are you holding? If we get under 1,000, you're gonna see 980 pretty quick, in my opinion. So if you're gonna be in the money by 980, that's a nice payout. Assuming you have 1,000 puts, you'll at least make 2K on that.
I have a 995 put.
Oh, that's good enough. If we get a 980, you can make 15 bucks on that. But you do want to see under 1,000, probably today. Being honest with you.
Take me under 430.
Let's see, bro. If we target the liquidity from the open, we're gonna get under 430 for sure.
I don't wait how heavy on that one.
On Microsoft?
Yeah.
I like it because of that huge gap, bro. Like.
Exactly. That's why I kind of was like, you know what? It's a little too good to pass up.
But like you said, they can literally chop it up here this whole week. And then give the move next week after everybody's contracts expired, bro.
Exactly. That's the only thing I'm worried about. But like the levels lighting up is nice.
Especially on the divergence with Apple, which is weird in my opinion. I don't know if you guys remember when Apple sold and everything was holding up a couple months ago. It was the first one to sell.
Yeah.
Let's go back on the chart. I think it was probably this original drop. I have to overlay it with Microsoft. Yeah, this is it.
Yep, that's the one.
Apple was literally diverging to the downside the entire time while Microsoft was at highs. So let's see what happens here. But we have massive divergence on these two right here. Like I told you guys, either Apple's about to give us some massive buys or Microsoft is a huge sell. In my opinion, I'll take the sells on Microsoft all day over the buys. But let's see what happens.
Oh, damn. Bitcoin got it nuts.
Let's check Bitcoin. MSTR looked clean to the downside if Bitcoin crashed. I've been tracking Bitcoin, bro. Like,
Yeah.
bro, like if this thing comes down, let's go to the 192. I want to see 70K for sure. Let's move this up, bro.
That's a fat ass leg.
There you go. Break below here, and we about to get that. So sells below. I already have one. Let's move this up. MSTR is too expensive in my opinion. I probably wouldn't take it, but I do think it looks clean.
It's too expensive. I'm just saying, watch list.
Bro, no, it's because look at this setup, bro. We have the same exact setup that we have on Bitcoin. If we get this breakdown, you have money. And bro, look at where we coming from. 230. I don't need all that. Just give me a couple dollars and I'm happy. What's up, bro?
Nothing running.
For real. Wells Fargo paying too or what? I already know your ass is for sure Wells Fargo, bro.
Yeah, I took some out already, but I feel for some head and shoulders
This one?
on the smaller time frame on the 3 minute.
Pretty good. It gets washed away pretty easily.
You need to form the right neck shoulder. Fill the gap, retest, and
You're talking about shoulder, head, shoulder?
Oh.
I see it. For now, watch EQ. If we stay up below 73.56, max 73.81. Let's put a box here. Definitely don't want to get above this if you're short. If we stay below, I think the sells might be okay. Maybe I overshot this drawing a little. If you really want to like give it some more room, you can exit above here. But me personally, I don't really want to see it above this. So if you're short, depending how much time you have, maybe see something like this. But definitely, if we see any new high today, I would not sit on that. But I see it. It's valid. You have this entire downside range to target clean.
Yeah.
And then the daily looks good too. Open gaps. 192 looks clean. So I'm okay with that trade.
yeah, that's the one I've been tracking.
It looks okay. I just don't really like the wick we left on the 3 hour. Looks pretty bullish, bro. And then to keep in mind this is a trend. Like we've been getting rejected from this trend, right? So if they do break out from trend, you have trend breakout, then you have level breakout here, and if they do the level breakout, then you have wick fills. Don't think that'll happen, but just be mindful. There's a lot of traffic for sure, but bro, if Powell comes in and says, "Oh yeah, we cutting REITs," or some, I don't know, bro. You just have to be prepared for anything, because if you say, "Oh, it's not gonna happen," and then it happens, that's when you get fucked. If before you even say, "Hey," before you even get in the trade, you say, "Hey, I might lose money," which you can lose money. Like you can't go into a trade thinking you're gonna win. If you go into a trade assuming you're gonna lose, you already won because you're already preparing for the worst. Versus if you say I'm gonna make $1 million and you don't make $1 million, you're gonna be like, ah, shit. Like, so you're better off just assuming you're gonna lose every trade and trying to protect your capital.
I was down like 80% since I was loaded since last week, and I cut the loss to like 50.
On Wells?
Yeah.
Yeah, see? It's tough.
Like I rather reserve the capital and throw it on something else, and I threw the same capital and I threw it on PM.
Fuck it. Test here on SPY that we discussed a few minutes ago. So this is gonna be your moment of truth, and we're gonna get some continuation from here. So are we gonna go for the breakout, the breakdown? You're about to get your answer right now. So be mindful where you have your money right now. If you're short, we get the breakdown. Great. Breakout above. Like I said, you want to de-risk, go for it.
assuming that this is the low of the week, this isn't a bad spot to load up calls.
On what?
Well, like just in general.
I liked Apple, but as long as we're below 200, it's hard in my opinion. We're holding at the 0.5. If we lose the
If you were to
0.5,
hedge it, what would you take?
if you hedge it, you have to hedge it with the same amount of time. So let's say you're trading weeklies, you have to hedge against weeklies. Or if you have bi-weekly, you could do a weekly, but even then the theta decay might end up screwing you. I would probably do Apple, but let me check the premiums because premiums were high yesterday.
Just like as a small protection, you know, you never know when this shit rocket.
They're kind of expensive. I don't know if I would justify loading them myself. But Apple 200s look okay. They're about 230, so that's kind of expensive. And unless you have 230 101 on the put side, it's not gonna be a great hedge.
Yeah.
But even then, keep in mind you have Trump talking today, Powell tomorrow, and AMD after hours. So going long here, you have a lot of potential risk from here till tomorrow, per se.
Yo, J&J looks super nice to the downside.
Yeah, but we still haven't triggered. We're literally at the lowest. PG's bouncing, J&J not yet. UVXY, nice reversal off the highs. SPY, let's see, are we back above 558? Yep, SPY's getting back above 558 here. So closure on the 12-minute back above 558 is going to be your sign to de-risk and be careful with any sales. So this 12-minute candle has to close above 558 and get continuation pushing higher. That's your sign to exit. If this 12-minute closes below or the next candle invalidates and pushes lower, then you're okay to sit on your puts. But within the next couple minutes, like I told you guys, by 7:15, 7:20, we should have our answers, and we're getting them right here. So the next 12-minute candle is going to tell you whether you should sit on your puts or get out.
Yo, I'm risking 18% just on 1 p.m. Just sit on it, huh?
Was it a swing though?
Yeah, May 16, 172.5.
And that's your only trade, or you have other stuff?
That's literally my only trade.
Then you're fine.
Alright. Yeah, I'm not gonna up my risk anymore. That's the best thing I could do.
Once you start, letting the wins stack, it'll be easier to start sizing up slowly using the same percentage. Like right now, you said you're risking 18% or whatever. Let's say you double on PM, you can make a same trade with those same 18%, but now you have more capital on the trades. So just keep, repeat. If you take a hit, that's fine. You took a hit that you can afford to lose.
Yeah.
Versus SPY getting rejected here at 558. So like I told you guys, this is your moment of truth. Let's see what they decide.
Bro, I'm telling you, J&J is gonna do this.
I think J&J has potential. Matter of fact, let's check volume. I haven't checked volume today.
If you grab time, you only have like $4 risk to 158.
Nah, I can go higher than 158.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's your max risk.
Let's see.
Even 146 is a TP1.
Not gonna lie, J&J is pretty quiet today. Not too much volume. Generally, let me send it in the chat so y'all could take a look at it.
She be doing that though.
Yeah.
Kind of normal for J&J.
I just saw your message, Ramiro. Costco reverted off the 1,000 level. If we get under on what?
We slipped
On what?
CBS.
A few people took it. Everyone sold already, I'm pretty sure. We're right around last week's levels. So let's raise this. We're right around last week's levels, and damn, that's crazy that this lines up this good. You gotta be careful because if they do give us this bounce, we're gonna come to previous day high right here. You see it, previous day high right here, and then we'll get the next leg down. So again, be careful being short across the board. But CVS was pretty clean on that ER pot to the upside.
Dude, goddamn, look at
Yeah.
gold. Gold's almost at 2.4.
Sheesh.
XAU.
So yeah, let's see what's up here. But if it looks like they're probably gonna go for the breakout. We're still below the sales level on PM. So if PM stays below 173, I might sit on that a bit longer. But I do want to see SPY definitely give up that 558 again. The longer we stay above 558, the less likely we are to come down, meaning you should probably reduce some risk on those puts. Nice upside on Apple, Microsoft, pretty stagnant here. Yeah, gold I'm watching right here, bro. So we're at this top range. Top range breakout to the target from last week versus breakdown from here. I'm already short a little right here. I nibbled, and I'll probably nibble a little more up here if we get there. And then anywhere above the second zone, I'm all out. I'll probably just wait till we go for wick fills at all-time high. So nice rejection here on PM. What's up?
You think on GOD, wait till whip go at 322?
I don't think we get it, in my opinion.
No?
What I'm doing, I'm not taking GLD, by the way. I'm shorting it on Forex, but I took starters here. You could do it the same thing with options. It just, I don't like, I find other trades more attractive here. But you can take one set here and your second set here if we get there, which I don't know if we will, which is why I just nibbled here, and then I'll add up here if we get there. I don't think we'll go for the all-time high wick fill. Can we? Sure. I personally don't think so, but we'll see. It did leave a fat ass weight though, so we'll see.
But that gap, though.
We'll get. Which one? This downside one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably target these downside gaps. You have one here, you have one here. The upside seems a lot harder from here.
It just goes so hard, man, to trade if you're not active.
Let's watch PM. I'm debating which MSTR doing. Nah.
I got no more nails because of MSTR and
Bruh.
Yo, look at Ultra.
I probably wouldn't touch it. I don't need to look at it to know I wouldn't touch it, but let's see.
That shit's expensive, but I kinda like it. Nah, just look at it though.
It's okay, bro, but look at all this upside. Like, I'm assuming you mean fade from here back to the lows. That's cool, but you literally have like 2-3 times more upside than downside. You can still make all this, but it's just kind of hard in my opinion. I'd pass on it, being honest with you, bro. You should, if you want to trade some frothy shit, trade spot, trade dual, trade something else. Like Ulta ain't it. Ulta used to be popping, but in my opinion, that's not the spot to trade it. You want to take a short on some frothy name like dual or spot, that's a different story. This is what Ulta used to be. So here, when you were at your highs, this is where we currently are on spot and duo. So in my opinion, the better trade is shorting something that's still literally at those highs. Spot is okay, super expensive, I'd probably pass. Levels wise, they look clean, but premium wise, you're paying a lot. But these look clean to the downside in my opinion. Over Ulta, you're already gonna pay like 50 IV if anything, so might as well make it worth it. EQ here on SPY at 786 into 559. Small reds here on Microsoft. I'm giving my trades a few minutes here, like I said, into 715, 720. I'm gonna be deciding.
Still kind of early, technically.
Fuck you.
Barely got what, 1, 2, 3 candles. 12-minute at least. Rejecting the 786 for SPY.
And quick little, let me show you guys real quick. This area we just rejected off of on SPY that Pilo called out, the EQ. These aren't my levels. Like, this is not hand drawn. This is a tool called OTE. I've shared it before. I've shared it in my YouTube video. It's super neat. All it does is it overlays fibs based off of the previous day. So based off of the previous day, high and low, you get your midpoint, your fib extensions, retracements, etc. As someone who relies primarily on fibs to trade, it helps you out a lot. You don't have to draw fibs on a million names every single day. You get a new daily open, you need to do new fibs. Like, it's tedious work that is unnecessary. Just throw that OT on your charts and you'll have fibs on every single name without having to manually hand draw the fibs. So yeah, but 786 here. Let's see what's up. Do you have the fib one too, or no? This one?
Yeah, I got that one.
Oh yeah, this one's pretty neat too, bro. Off the 45.
I think I got majority of your indicators down.
Oh yeah, this one I like for the 45-minute executions because you get those clean reversals.
But when I switch time frames, I do adjust that.
The MTF?
Yeah, like if I'm checking it at the dailies, I'll probably put it at 3 hours or something.
Oh shit, that makes sense. That's clutch. PM pushing back above 173. I don't want to take these off, bro, but let's see what happens here. I might have to take off if we do go above 173. I'm okay with eating a little bit of the premiums and having to scale in, but I'd rather not, bruh. Way too much risk. What happened?
The counter trade calling would be not that bad over here. That's a golden pocket 70%ish.
For what?
For SPY.
If you would have done it earlier at the lows, yeah, but here into EQ, maybe not. I think we do have a gap on SPY though, not gonna lie. Let me check.
That little small.
Yeah, if they want it.
For 560.
561, 562 maybe. If they get this breakout. If they break out above EQ here, they're going there. Which is fine. I don't mind this. What I mind is if we break above this. If this box happens, cool. But above there, RIP, because we have higher targets. Yeah, bro, we'll see what's up. Let's see if any premiums have moved. Earlier, there was nothing worth adding to or managing, but let's see if I can find something now.
Oh yeah, that shit wants it.
Yeah, it's probably gonna go for it. And then SPY's into, sorry, not SPY. UVXY is into a TQ right here.
J&J going back up.
PNG, small red. Let's put Apple up here. McDonald's had a decent bounce because premiums just got wrecked. I mean, they were up like 50% or more this morning. I think they still have potential, assuming we reject this 315.80, 85 maybe. I think they might have potential, but if we do stay above that, probably over for those. They're still small green, but definitely lost a lot of premium on this move up. And then PM now above 173.
Damn. Even though there's direction, the the tighter decay is fucking up everything.
I don't really have weeklies. You have weeklies?
No, no. Well, I'm just saying, like, we're kind of chopping. To be honest, we're not getting like nice candles up or down.
Yeah, but my prems are still holding up pretty well. I haven't really taken a hit on anything. So I'm debating. Like I told you guys, I don't think there's any point in adding unless you get a discount or you're entering at a different price. We're trading right around the same prices we opened, and premiums aren't at a discount where it makes sense to buy more. So I'm probably just gonna sit.
I have it got lower than 10% on PM, so I'm probably gonna sit on it.
Just keep in mind if we do go for the breakout on SPY, this is probably gonna push too. We can come down on PM while the rest of the market comes up. Same way we've been rotating in the markets, but just be mindful. Let's see. Let me do a quick little search of the chain, the volumes. You have way more. Oh, I never sent it. You have way more on the put side on SPY today, which is not necessarily a good thing right off the open, unless something changes pretty soon in the flow. That's not a good sign, and they're probably gonna go for the breakout.
They scared of Powell.
Well, yeah, but they're not gonna pay everyone. Today I think I forgot what time Trump speaks. Like we just have Trump. He's meeting with Canada PM, I think. Let me see if I can find it. It is not showing up. What time are they meeting? Bro, I can't find the time, and honestly, I'm not trying to go through a bunch of websites. I'd rather focus on the price action. But at some time today, he's for sure gonna meet with the Canada Prime Minister. So, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Oh shit! So at 8:30. Whoops. So in an hour, he'll be on in an hour. That's definitely gonna move the market if he says, "Oh, tariff pause," or any, bullish, more tariffs, bearish, which is stupid. I don't think that his words really affect the market. I think everything's pre-planned, and they just, say whatever happens to be convenient at the time to move markets in whatever direction they want. So, just be mindful. It's definitely gonna be a catalyst into the next hour. Let me check my trades real quick. Gold's starting to do okay. I want to see a breakdown now. Any new highs, I'm gonna probably just call it on that one. Shit, my phone's dying. Oh yeah, super bullish on the 45. So we just hit targets on spot here. Let's see if they give us the next leg higher or breakdown from these levels. I'm considering. It's hard when you're planning your swings just because there's so many good names here. It's kind of hard to pick, but I'm considering adding to Walmart. I'm just hesitant if Walmart is the move, or let me do some quick math. Hold on. By the way, no, actually I already told you guys how I do it. I've sent it out in my section, the chat, where I said, let me send it real quick. Copy message link. So I just sent it in the chat. basically how I calculate premiums. And I'm just trying to justify Walmart. Like I said, Walmart looks clean, but it's pretty expensive. PM is about 2 times as much expensive as Walmart. Walmart's 99, so you double that's around 200. PM is 175, and you're paying half. Not half. My point is Walmart's more expensive than PM, so I'm just trying to justify what's the cheapest swings I can load. So I'm trying to do the math on that right now. Give me 1 second, but Walmart looks clean as a trade, just a little more expensive.
FYI, I'm out of PM. PM bullish.
You took it off?
Yeah, I took all of them off.
Fuck it. You took off your PLTR too?
Oh no, I got the one for next week, and now.
But bro, but you see how you literally loaded it at the bottom?
I took off
The 120. All right.
Yeah, I got paid from the other. Yeah.
But regardless, you do see how adding at the lows could be an issue, right?
Yeah.
All right, so that's cool. If you're rolling a portion of profits, you'll be fine. But at no point do you want to just keep adding and adding. If you say I'm gonna risk 20% of my profits into next week, that's fine. But yeah, just be careful with that. Nice flip here on Apple. All right, I'm probably gonna do it. Fuck it. I think I'm gonna nibble more on. Let's check prices real quick.
Young Walmart.
I'm barely down on PM. I don't want to add to that one yet. I really want to size up on PM, but my issue with sizing up here is that I have not given the trade any time whatsoever. Meaning if we do go for that squeeze into the 3618, which I can't even see. If we do go into the 3618, I'm gonna take a hit. If I'm patient and I wait to add up here, it's gonna be great. The only thing I am scared of is if we do get the breakdown here and I never get the chance to add, I'm not gonna be in the trade with size how I wanted. But that's fine. I much rather miss a trade than force a trade and end up losing money. It is what it is, but I do want to add. It looks clean, just per my rules, I cannot. Look at gold, yes sir.
I don't know what to do with Costco at this point. It's threatening to squeeze me out.
DM me your report real quick. Let me see total percent return and your total equity on each one, so I can see how much you're risking of your port. But I mean, it's barely Tuesday. The only thing I don't like, you said you had 995. That's fine, honestly. Now that I think 995 is okay. Data decay is going to be your biggest issue if we don't start slipping from here today.
Ooh, Apple flipped. Yeah, Walmart looks kind of good.
I kind of want Walmart for ER though, but for a scalp this week it looks clean. But I'm telling you, I kind of want ER, but it's a little tax.
And at that point, might as well just grab Netflix and not have fucking ER.
It's not taxing that point, but it's like, bro, you're paying the contracts I'm looking at for Walmart specifically are the June 20s. The June 20 for 100 put is 435. The 80s are 42. If you do somewhere in the middle, you're paying around 200 something. So it's like if I'm paying $200 on a swing for Walmart, which only has $100 intrinsic, I'd much rather throw those $200 on PM, where you can make potentially way more. Yeah, it's like it don't make sense, bro. The prices are high. Like I'm telling you, Walmart, I don't know. It's either gonna like have a fat ass sell on ER or they're gonna kill the premiums, because the premiums are way too high right here in my opinion.
What about Microsoft getting above EQ?
If it gets above EQ, that's probably gonna go for the breakout. What's SPY doing? Microsoft is probably the only one that's actually taking a hit from the lows, but at the lows it was pretty green. Other than that, everything's doing okay. But yeah, Microsoft, if it does get above 535, the EQ, and you want to take it off, go for it. This is the top zone we discussed in the morning. So this top zone is going to be a resistance where we can potentially, revert lower, but a breakout above this zone, you definitely want to consider being out of those. So for now, I'm still in it. Let's see what happens. Nice sells on gold. That's going to pay here. I don't know if anyone took it. And again, I'm not in options. I'm trading it via Forex, but those are some decent sells here.
I want to grab PM, but I don't know if I want to get in time.
That's what I was about to say. The next weeks have not went down on PM,
That's why.
but the
Like,
weeklies, do look a little juicy here because those premiums did get hit. I might do that with you, Pilo, if you want to run it.
I'll run it, but
Load up.
which right? That's what I'm thinking.
See if they could fill me at
172s. In order to beat that.
and see if they want to fill me.
What are you getting?
The weeklies, the 172.5s for a scalp.
Yeah, you too. Alright, bet. Oh, I thought you were gonna hold it for ER.
Wait for ER.
Oh no, this ain't for. I mean,
I'm like, wait, what? Don't scare me, bro. PM don't got ER. Nah, PM don't got ER, bro. But
Yo, what the fuck just happened?
why?
Yo.
wait, what got ER tomorrow? Let's see.
AMD has today.
Yo, the weeklies are going crazy.
What do you mean?
I already got filled for PM. I'm already up 20%.
Nah, it's probably the spreads, bro.
Y'all going for puts for AMD, right? For ER.
It's a bet, bro. Like, I can't give you direction. I personally think the market is headed lower, but like I said, it might not happen till next week or whatever. AMD, the only reason I'd be scared to short it per se is because, like I said, I don't like shorting anything at the lows, which it isn't at the lows, but we're way off the highs. It's not like shorting. So this is the path we have, right? But it's not like shorting something like AVGO, which is still, way higher compared to where we are on AMD. If you throw AMD on here, AMD is, way lower in comparison to where AVGO is, which is why I'm saying I much rather short a name like AVGO, Long Success, or something where I see a bargain in value versus trying to short AMD at the lows. If AMD does squeeze higher, which is very possible, like I said, look at how far down we are, you're definitely going to take a hit on Success and AVGO. So just be mindful. But we'll see what's up. I'm for sure, if AVGO sees ER Wakefield into 215 or 214 or wherever it is, I'm for sure shorting it, like no doubt. Right here, it's not, it's a lotto trade. But if we see that Wakefield, I'm throwing size for sure.
I'm watching a double top on Wells.
Gold's coming down a bit more, so that's neat. Double top. So this is the setup we discussed. Remember this zone? We either flip here and revert, or they can go for the 786.
Yes, that's what I'm watching.
So we'll see what's up. It looks clean though. If we do see here and you want to scale a bit, and if you do want to scale a bit into these highs, if we get there, in case we do come down, up to you. But I personally wouldn't keep adding as we squeeze higher, just in case we don't roll over. It looks clean though.
I'd rather you miss it or let me just add it there.
Yeah, we'll see what's up.
Look who we both know is gonna get touched there and fake out. It's gonna do the damn thing.
We got an hour till the meeting.
Everybody's stop loss is gonna be there. So I'm still waiting on Wells.
Nice little breakout here on Visa, so careful. Like I said, Visa, MasterCard, and banks move together for the most part. So if Visa's giving us this breakout, watch out in case WFC does the same. But yeah, that top range looks okay. So yeah, we got the clear breakout off that 558 low we discussed. Now the level to watch is going to be 561 on SPY for your top range versus continuation higher. I'm debating taking gold off, bro. The thing no, it's fine. Took gold short, nice. William, I'm not too sure everything you're in. I think you said you're in PM, you're in PG, you're in gold. So just keep
Alright, I got PM.
try to just keep an eye on all of your positions, because if I know exactly what you're in, I can try to give you better advice. But since you have a mix of different things and I'm not sure exactly how everything's doing, just be mindful of adding too much size at one time. But that's fine. I think J&J is okay. Just be mindful you're in a lot of similar trades like PG, J&J, all that. So if one trade goes south, they're all most likely going to be south, meaning you take a hit on everything. So like I said, just be mindful of your overall portfolio, how much risk you have on your dates. Is do all your contract expire one day? Do you have more time? So just try to have a little bit of balance, diversification across your port. But I think you should be fine. And if you have questions about anything, let me know. Nice little pullback here on Apple. Interesting.
Alright, I got filled on PM.
I took a little more PM myself, Jinder, and I think Pilo just did as well. I still have an order working. I'm surprised they haven't failed me. That's interesting.
I got filled at 88 cents.
I'm trying to add to the next week's too, but they haven't filled me, which is odd because we're literally pushing into highs, which doesn't make sense.
Right?
I might have to replace. I'll give them $5 more. Fuck it.
$5. Ooh, gold. That's a solid candle right there. Oh yeah, she pushing down.
Oh, you got POTR. Yo, Ramiro, I can't see what you have open in your account. Do you only have gold, PLTR, and cost?
Yes, sir.
PLTR, gold, and cost. Okay. Gold, you're not catching the perfect top here. Earlier at the highs would have been better. If you want to add to that one, I can't see. That's a June, I'm assuming.
Yep.
All right, if you want to add to that one, per my criteria, you can add one contract to that to lower your cost average. You maybe even get a higher strike if possible. If not, the same one's fine. If you don't want to, that's fine. But that's the only one I'd probably maybe consider. Wait. I'm gonna DM you something. The one up, it's after. Let's see, bro.
But right in the middle of the. Still hasn't filled it all the way, but I think that's good enough.
I swear,
That's why we flipped.
if MSTR breaks 378, 370.
Bro, I think they could. We'll see.
Oh man, stop playing. Fools, that every time they know I'm in there, they want to leave. Said that fool think he know what he trading.
Always above PDL, all cells off the board.
Yo, so I just DM'd you, Ramiro, just because I didn't want to say it out loud. I don't know if you mind, but I'm just wondering what that's about. So I'm just trying to make sure you're like managing your things properly. But if
I don't think they credit it. I think Robinhood has a tendency to like credit later on.
all right,
Like on in the day. Yeah, no, I'm super green.
no, but no, because I was just looking at it. I'm like, bro, what? How does that even make sense?
Yeah, no, I'm green for the day. If anybody bleeds me out, it's gonna be like, God forbid, Costco was an expiration for the day or strategy. Oh man, that'd be ugly.
All right.
Besides that,
No, you look good.
Back at 1618 potential.
and I'm sorry for the PM riders, but I'm gonna get in there when it's like 175. My bad.
Fuck it.
It's crazy when you can't see where a high is at, especially when it's at all.
We got right here buy side liquidity. Let's see.
Do you check out the fibs, bro?
For me or Ramiro?
Ramiro.
I'm gonna do it right now. Thank you for putting me up on it.
Yeah, because if you have the fibs, it kind of gives you a gauge past the levels, so that you kind of have an idea on where it could go, you know.
All right, let me show y'all real quick for those that don't have it. I covered this in the video, but I'll show you guys real quick. These are my presets. I don't have them all on just because I don't need all of them, but I do 618.5, 786, and then you do your retracements and extensions. Generally, we don't see 4618s, which is why I have them turned off. 3618 is rare. More often than not, you'll see 1618, 2618. 3618 is like, I want to say less than 30% of the time you'll see it. 4618, maybe less than 10, 12% of the time. So you don't want to always assume we'll see those. But 1618, 2618, like we did on PM, that's pretty common. So 2618 here, if they do the 3618, that would be a little, you know, more rare per se. But the real one that I doubt is 4618, which I did the wrong one. But yeah.
Really be pushing.
Yeah, statistically, you don't get these two. More often than not, you'll see 1618, 2618, and these are a given. But 3618, 4618, if you go back test it on any name throughout time, those aren't gonna happen too often. Which is I don't use them as targets. Can we go there? Sure, but I'm not gonna put my money that we go there.
But the 618s, those are definitely like magnets.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just sent the picture to the chat, bro. My 618 has it going to freaking 180, dog.
But you're doing it wrong, cause you're measuring improperly. You need to measure from the previous swing high to the swing low. You're measuring from the swing low to the current high.
Okay.
So the green candle where you have your trend line starting from, I don't know if you see it, above where it says PCH, so whatever the indicator is. So you want from that green candle to the bottom range low, and that will give you probably a little better range on that. So if you want, edit it and then send it again, but that might be a little more accurate.
Nice shows on GOD.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I kind of want to take them off though, bro. Just cause you guys know how FX moves, bro. If you have an option and you have a huge liquidity spike, and the preems come back, you still get paid. On FX or futures, if you have a huge move against you, you're getting fucking liquidated, bro. Like they don't.
Does it
Let's
matter
see
if I
what's up.
use the trend-based fib extension rather than the fib retracement? I use the fib extension. That, yeah, same thing, right?
It's
From high.
so look, I'm gonna put you on game. What I just showed you right now, you can do both at once. Doesn't matter if you use the retracement or the extension, it's the same thing. All you want to do is put both values. What do I mean by both values? I have both positive values and negative values. All that does is give you extensions and retracements all in one tool. In my opinion, it's tedious. Why am I gonna go draw an extension, then go draw a retracement when you can literally just draw it once and do both sides? And like that doesn't make sense to me. But if you just tweak the settings, you get both, which is just like, you know, think outside the box a little bit, make your life easier. But that's what I do on that. Microsoft above 435.
For the auto fib.
I don't even use that one. Which one's that one?
It's the free one from Trading.
Oh, like the indicator.
The indicator.
Oh, gotcha. Not yet.
Hello, he's talking about like the actual fib.
Oh, the fib
Cool.
tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he edited them online too. I got the go cheat codes.
I don't really use the tool itself anymore. The auto kind of does it for you, you know.
But the auto is only on dailies. You can't do it for swings.
Oh, facts.
I'm gonna probably take gold off right here. We're coming into T3. Nice low bounce. EVXY new lows. Spy pushing. So I'm not gonna risk it.
Same right at that 618, yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and take some partials on that. Okay, you see? Wait, no. Never mind. I don't think you.
My Microsoft popped the fuck up.
Yeah, it's above 435 here. I should have taken the at open. I'm I don't think you understood me, bro. Let me see. Yeah, no. Hold on. I'm gonna send the picture back to you, Ramiro. So. All right, so I just sent it back to you. Try doing it how I showed you in the picture. So from use that high and that low. Doesn't matter if you go from low to high, high to low, same thing. But use those two. So the bottom range from the candle and the top range. Let me know if that makes sense.
Damn, I had to flip Microsoft.
Hey, there's a nasty gap on
Up or down?
up. We might fill that gap even on the contracts. The contracts are out 100 for the 484 call, and then the gap is up to 300. That's a 3-to-1.
Yes and no. I see it. If this is what you're talking about. Talking about this, right?
No, I'm just talking about the option liquidity though, not the.
My problem with gaps like this one here is I don't even want to put buy gap on that. It's just an open gap. My problem with gaps per se like this one is we have this gap, right?
Yeah.
And then you have this gap. The difference in my opinion is that you do have price to the left here. Not directly touching, but you do have it. If you come on the 192, oh no, it is clean on the 192. I mean, it's definitely possible to come into that 484, which is only about $1 higher from here. Not too much of a squeeze, but it is possible.
It's a 3-to-1 in the option. Look, I'm trying to get filled at 0.80 right now.
I wouldn't get it here. Look at where we were at. Oh no, this was 1 a.m. No, this was the open. No.
No,
Where's the low from the open?
22.
Yeah, see 7 a.m. 478. This is not a 45-minute candle I'd want to get long after. If you got long into these lows, beautiful. But if you're telling me you're getting long up here, that's definitely a mistake. Look at this 45-minute candle, literally engulfed the entire range. So if this next 45-minute candle or the one after that comes down, keep in mind we got Trump in about 40 minutes. So if this candle closes anywhere up here and the next candle does this, so just be mindful. You have that versus a breakout from here. But regardless, I personally wouldn't chase here. If you got long at the lows, fuck it. But right here, nah.
Alright, Pinche Mister Don't Get It. I sent another picture.
Let me see. Zero, one. Nah, bro, I don't think you're doing it right. Let me show you. So look, you what is that? PM. What are you on, a daily? That's a daily, yep. So like you're gonna come to this high. Let's get rid of all my shit first. Okay, so you're gonna come to this high right here, right? And then you're gonna put your high here. Then you're gonna target this candle body low, this one. Because this was your swing high, this was your swing low. So you have two important points for reference. What points of reference is that? Your high and your low. And these are my fibs that I have. You can edit them, like I said, but we're coming right into the 618. Matter of fact, let's flip this. I think it'll be the same, but yeah, see? So you see how it's the 1618? The only thing is if I drew it from high to low, if I draw it from low to high, you get the opposite, but it's the same exact thing. Just click revert. So reverse it, you get extensions. You want retracements, just reverse it. But this is your 1618 here. So this is the area I'm telling you we can potentially fade from, right? But do you see where I did it from? From this high to this low. You're using...
I think my values are wrong then. It must be
You
my
can
values.
also reverse it. Try reversing it. See if it lines up. And then I covered that one in the indicator video if you want to like get the specific exact settings, how to set it up. But yeah, those are the highs and lows I used, and then you can just reverse it to get your like the different levels. I'm gonna get rid of this stuff.
Here's me. Hey, it's not time to load up the intrinsic part yet, huh? The 5
I would wait till after this week, bro. I'm telling you guys, just be patient. If you have limited amount of capital, you can invest, protect it. After May 16th, I think it's gonna be way easier. That's when you're gonna have majority of the options expiring after majority of the players are out the game because their options expired. We're gonna have much cleaner moves in the market. So I'm not saying, hey, don't buy anything, because if we do fall from here forward, you're gonna say, oh, well, you told me to wait and I waited and now I missed the move. So Definitely don't want that to happen. But I myself am for sure putting money to the side that I know I want to allocate into next week and the week after. But next week should be the one. So let's see what's up. You guys know I've been wanting to see UVXY26 and a couple other targets. We might not get them. Like Success already paid a little bit, UVXY paid a little bit, but the next 2 days are going to be super important, especially Powell.
Bro, UVX ran up from 17 to $60. Come on now.
Bro, that's stock. The options did over 1,000%, and there were swings.
Hey, your 1K, your 1.8, you did it in like 3 weeks, huh?
Like two and a half. The big chunk of money was in 2 weeks. The half
Yeah.
week I just did like another 10K or some shit. But bro, when you're already half size, it's easier to make big trades. The hard work was when I started with the 1.8, because you're grinding out $300 wins, 500, 600, then it starts going up to 1,000, then 2,000. But once you have size, it's easier to trade. But scaling up is the problem in my opinion. Once I already had over 10K, I started hitting like 5K days. It was easy. But the first week was like the work per se. Nice little bounce around GOD, so fuck it. Let's... Looks a little interesting here. I might consider taking a small lotto for Trump. On a 0 DT. Huh?
But PG's going down.
I'll check it out right now. Fuck. I'm trying to see where I could get a better bang for my buck on SPY or Qs. No, I think Qs. So I might have to take Qs. Not much of a difference, but fuck it. Let's check prices. IWM looks good, and I prefer it per the options data. IWM actually looks like a really high quality short. Just more meat on the bone, if I'm being honest with you guys, on Qs. Bro, come on. Yeah, I prefer Qs, being honest. Or SPY, but IWM doesn't have too much meat on the bone. Options do look cleaner though. I'm gonna wait until the 45-minute open. We have about 30 minutes, so we're essentially right around the time Trump's speaking. I think the 0DTs might work for a quick scalp if you want to take them. But again, it's a 0DT, so be prepared for the risk. And if you don't like trading 0DTs or you haven't traded them, then just pass. But if you know what you're doing, into Powell, sorry, why do I keep saying Powell? Into Trump at 8:30, I do think that sell might be okay.
Alright, that's the last photo I'm gonna send. I'm not gonna flood the chat with photos, but if I don't get it this time, I'll get
Bro,
it
you're
next week.
chilling. You've been DMing me. You're not even putting it in the chat.
No, the photos. Oh yeah, they're
Okay,
on. Yeah,
so yes, that's right. What you're gonna do is go click on what you just sent me, the chart of the fibs, click on it,
yeah.
and then you're gonna press reverse. Look for the reverse button. Let me know if you find it. So come down and then press reverse. Let me. Does it line up now?
Reverse. You're from the banana.
It's some funky ass cakes.
You're from the banana. Flip it and reverse it. You're from the banana.
No. I'll do what you're doing, bro. It might be your settings. I'll help you out after market closes if you want, bro. But it might be your settings.
For sure. All right. And then MSTR gave me a little breath of life for a quick second. We'll see what happens.
MSTR, you're in it?
Yeah, you know I'm in that now.
Bro. Alright, fucking good luck, bro. Weekly?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
You really want to know?
Only thing I don't like on MSTR, being honest with you, is we have this bottom range, which has been holding fine. I don't like this wick. If they want to squeeze out from here, they're going to target that 387. If we break below 378, 375, this bottom zone right here, that's where you really get paid out. But you have this whole zone to worry about. This is a problem zone, in my opinion. You have a lot of support to the downside. If we lose this, that's where your real payout is, below here, not in this chop, down here. So if we get the breakdown and come here, that's cool, but this is the real test. So let's see what happens. The only thing to be careful with is the breakout to 387. As long as that doesn't happen, I'm pretty sure you're gonna get paid on MSTR. I'm telling you, the sales look clean. I just personally rather short Bitcoin myself straight up than MSTR, and they both have super clean levels. So if Bitcoin breaks down from this level at 93.5k, we're coming lower. Only thing I don't like is that if we do follow this path, we're probably gonna come retest this before lower. So we'll see. Just again, if you're shorting anything, be mindful.
That's perfect wick off on Bitcoin, huh?
What happened?
That's perfect wick off on Bitcoin.
Yes and no. We got they've been distributing it for so long on the daily that it's like,
Look at the range.
I don't even call this wick off no more. I mean, I guess, look, let's copy wick off from Netflix. So this is the wick off path, right? This that you guys see here. I'm gonna just go ahead, copy, go to Bitcoin. Ah, shit, I fucked up. Copy. Move this left.
I guess it already delivered, huh?
The first leg, not the second one. I'm telling you, my target was 70k. We never hit my target. I don't think the selling on Bitcoin is done. Like, if you really want to move this here, you could. But the real wick off is from up here. All this is a retest. Why? We broke down from the neckline. We came to retest the neckline we broke out from. Now the next test is to fade from the retest. It's just simple price action, but the wick off itself has not delivered. We have 67k, and then if I'm not mistaken, when we get the second leg lower, we'll probably see below 30. Yup. And if you guys don't think Bitcoin will see those prices, that's fine. But just 5 years ago, it was way down here. So just be mindful what you guys are buying. Everyone was literally, I've been probably the most vocal about being short on Bitcoin than anyone. This entire time I've been saying, hey, they're distributing, it's headed lower. I know so many people who would say, oh, you're stupid, blah blah blah, and it's like, okay, I'm stupid, but you're buying Bitcoin at 100k, that's fine. Like, I got long from sub 10k. Buying Bitcoin at 100k it's nonsense in my opinion, especially when it was at 3.5k 5 years ago. So if you're buying Bitcoin at 100k, I wish you the best of luck. You know, if it goes to a million, you know, congrats. But realistically, it's not gonna happen. Can it? Sure, but it's not something I'd ever put my money on. And I'm telling you, so many people on Twitter, everywhere, just super vocal about, you know, saying, oh, you're so dumb, Bitcoin's going to the moon. It's like, okay, great. Let's speak facts. You're buying an asset that is super elevated. But we'll see what happens. In my opinion, like I said, Bitcoin's headed way lower.
I'm gonna take my $27 loss from PLTR before it gets hectic.
Fuck it if you want, bro. I mean, at least you're net green overall. You see why I told you not to short lows, right? Like, it's fine, but in my opinion, you had already gotten paid. Maybe take it off. If we fill this wick, that's gonna be nasty. So let's say we do get the bullish breakout into next week, like we said can happen. What if you see this on PLTR? That would be nasty. I'm not telling you guys to buy calls, just showing you guys the clear liquidity we left from ER. And generally those wicks get filled. Not saying we will, but generally more often than not, you do see some type of liquidity sweep.
AVGO never filled the 250 wick.
I still think those are all. Wait, which one? 215?
250. 250.
I think you mean 215. The earnings one?
No. It was the earnings price.
There's different types of wicks though. There's exhaustion wicks and there's liquidity wicks. If the so let me check. I'm pretty sure the candle body is bigger than the wick. If so, that's an exhaustion wick. Bro, come on. What the frick? Oh, there we go. Bro, what am I doing?
Oh, that's exhaustion then, huh?
Which one? This is a doji. If you're talking about this, that's a doji. That's not even a wick. This one?
Yeah, with the gap.
But bro, that's what I mean. You see how the candle body is huge and you have a tiny wick? That's not even the same thing as... Where is it?
Yeah, that's what it is. That right there.
Hold it.
Drawing.
This one looks way different. Wait, hold
The
on.
white line.
It doesn't show up though. It only shows up on the 192. You see how this wick looks different than the other wick?
Yeah.
And this is a massive zone. If we break above this 201, 786, this is, we literally did this in one move. So look, right? If they break out above this 201, which they were already above the other day, they bounced off the lows. If they get this breakout, that move is coming fast. So I'm telling you guys.
203.
Yeah, fuck it. It's gonna happen overnight though. That's the only problem. Whether it's up or down, they're gonna do it overnight on AMD. So you're basically forced to lock in your bet and see what happens. I'm gonna take a call real quick. My bad, guys. Give me like 2 minutes. I'm gonna go on mute real quick. All right, I'm back. GOD back at the highs. We got about 15 minutes until Trump. So if you're on in anything, either side, whether it's calls or puts, just be mindful. We'll have some action right now in the next 15 minutes with that catalyst. So again, be careful if you're on 0 DTEs, weeklies, anything, whether it's a call or a put. You don't know which way we can move off of that meeting right now. So just be mindful whatever you're in. And then AVGO trying to push back above these levels. If we get back above the 786, which is 201.31, and close above that level today, I would assume we're going to head higher to that 215 target on AMD earnings. So we'll see what happens. So I don't know if you still, yeah, Gender, you still in here? So fuck it. See, in this specific scenario, it worked out in your favor that you took off your success for your win. We're still above yesterday's lows, so still higher than yesterday, but definitely lower from the open. So we'll see what develops next few minutes, but yeah, we'll see what's up. Go on mute for 1 second. I'll be right back. I'll be here for Trump, but I'm gonna go get something real quick. I haven't had breakfast, my bad, y'all. I'll be right back. I'll be here for Trump. Should take maybe like 5 minutes.
Okay, let's see if the market reaction is for real.